Hello, everyone. It's ReSoFrik FM in the city of Garfield Heights. My name is Oluwatoyin, the one you know as Papa T. As someone who's been in the music and broadcasting industry for quite a long time, it beats me how a lot of new people who want to come into the industry have wrong expectations from the environment, from the music business itself and the industry at large. And I've seen many come into the business with a lot of enthusiasm, and 2, 3, 4, 5 years after, they have jumped into something else, or they're still doing music, and they have suddenly become huge, surprisingly. And then you begin to ask, is it really about this music business alone? I have also seen a lot of people sign contracts and run into issues, and they have to go back to the beginning to do the things they ought to have done. Today, on all these things, we'll be talking about what they never tell you about the music business and the industry. Once again, my name is Oluwatoyin. If you are listening to this show and it makes sense to you, share with people, especially those who are in the music business, so they would have an idea of how these things really work, the things to expect, the things not to expect, and the things not to really take as absolute as the journey. Before we start the show proper, I'd like to play a song. It's called Your Thoughts. And this song says, your thoughts are dragging on, and I see you worrying over nothing. You're losing your mind over nothing. Here is the song, and I'll be back with you in a bit.
Your thoughts are dragging on. Your thoughts are drifting on. I see you worrying over something. You're losing your mind over nothing. Staring into blankness, you meet my gaze. Then I look into your eyes, I see your pain. He's my shoulder, you can lean on. He's my shoulder, you can cry on. Don't wanna ease your pain, just wanna be your friend. Don't mean to ease your pain, just wanna be your friend. Your thoughts are dragging on. Your thoughts are drifting on. I see you worrying over something. You're losing your mind over nothing. Pain is for now. What about other days? See the horizon, promising laughter. Waste no time on impossibilities. Stake yourself down on possibilities. 'Cause I see what's possible. Would you believe what's possible? 'Cause I see what's possible. Would you believe what's possible? Your thoughts are dragging on. Your thoughts are drifting on. I see you worrying over something. You're losing your mind over nothing. Your thoughts are dragging on. Your thoughts are drifting on. You are worrying over nothing. I see you bothered over nothing. Your thoughts are dragging on. Your thoughts are drifting on into nothing. Your thoughts are drifting on into nothing, into nothing. Oh, my thoughts are dragging on. No, my thoughts are drifting on. No, I see you worrying over something. No, I'm losing your mind over nothing. No, your thoughts are dragging on. Your thoughts are drifting on. I see you.
Welcome back, good people and rare breeds. If you are joining us, please share with people. We haven't been able to, have access to Instagram, and that's because Instagram is having issues with third-party platforms in terms of multi-streaming, multi-platform streaming. It's been for about 2 weeks now, but we'll make do with this. If you get this post, if you're watching this video, share with others for the duration of the show. On the show today, like I said, we are talking about what they never tell you about the music business and the industry. And this goes to a lot of young artists who are coming into the business at this point in time. One of the things they do not tell you is that viral moments, your video going viral, your music go, whatever you're doing, your content going viral does not necessarily translate into success. And this is pretty much about how some of these social platforms work. You have to have done, a consistent amount of things for the algorithms to favor you and all that. And the fact that people are watching your show, the fact that they're commenting, the fact that it's a lot of views, it's a lot of followers, does not necessarily translate into success. And that is why people come into the business with a lot of expectation, and that takes me to expectations from the business. A lot of young artists believe that as soon as they release their first single and it's out there, success follows. But they'll be shocked to see that when they put out a song, they have to promote it. It takes money. They have to network. They have to put it on so many platforms, and you get to realize that it is not a one-man job to promote a song and to make it a success. Now, you might get upset that people of your household, your friends, they're not engaging with your content, with your music. They're listening to it, but nothing is happening. And you're mad at your family, you're mad at your friends. But take this truth today. Your family and friends are not necessarily your audience. Now, some of this, there's a difference between your family supporting you, your friends supporting you, and people actually consuming your music. Now, to be able to get to that point, you need to be able to target those people. The song you're doing, did you decide on the audience? Did you decide on how to target this audience? Did you decide how to continue building the trust by way of consistency with this audience in such a way that they get to trust you over time, and then they want to consume your product? So young artists look at the ones that are in quote successful out there, and they believe that that is how it really works. They believe that once I push out my music, it is success automatically. There's nothing like overnight success in the music business. You have to put in the work. You have to keep doing it. You have to keep doing it. Even when you do not feel like doing it, you have to show up. You have to, there's nothing stopping you from promoting a song for a whole year, generating different kinds of content in terms of video and all that, and graphics to keep pushing the song, because it takes one person, it takes one organization, it takes one experience, one contact with what you're doing to change your life. So if you push out a song and you push it for like 2 3 weeks, 2 3 months, and nothing is happening, and you stop, then you're not ready for the business. And that is where people get misled quite often, when they look at the similarly successful people, and they feel that, okay, I've done my own bit and nothing is happening, and that means I'm not successful. Well, for one, remember that success is what it is to the individual. For some people, their idea of success is to have 500,000 followers. Whereas, remember, once again, having 500,000 followers does not necessarily mean you're successful. Because if it doesn't pay the bills, if it doesn't take care of your career in terms of financial return, then you're only doing music and not music business. So the other thing is, when they look at the ones that have seemingly made it, they do not take their time to ask themselves, how are these people we look up to, how are they actually successful? The word successful we use for them, how does it translate in their lives? Is it just this music? And that's where we also need to look at the idea of entrepreneurship when you are doing music. Some people will say, if you're doing music and it's just that music, if you make some money and you venture into some other things, you're selling out. And that's where the opinion of people could also affect the reality of what is happening in the business. There are so many musicians right now who, with 1 2 3 hit albums that are successful, they tap into the income and the goodwill around their success. They leverage this amount of success they've had. It may not be as much as we're looking at it. Many of them may not be making money from distribution. They may not be making money yet from publishing. They may not be making money from other things, but maybe some of them are making money through touring, for instance. If you're fortunate, you make money from streaming, which is another discussion for another day, because the fact that you have 1 million streams on Spotify does not necessarily mean that you're financially successful. That is a conversation for another day. Now, if you make some money, is it like you go and spend that money buying the blings, buying clothings and everything, hoping that the next money will come from the next show, from the next contract, from the next? It doesn't work like that in the industry. One hit you make might just be your meal ticket for the rest of your life. You may think another one is going to come, is going to happen, and you're going to be more successful. What if it's just that one single? And that is where, from experience, a lot of artists in the new thoughts, in the new experience, in the new consciousness, in the business, are venturing into non-music ventures so that they can diversify their streams of income. It talks about multiple streams of income. Now, we see Puff Daddy, at some point being one of the richest male musicians in the whole world, with almost $1 billion net worth, and we would think, oh, it's just about the music. This guy just leveraged on the success from his music and ventured into other things. We're talking about his partnership with the Ciroc brand, talking about how much he makes from the sale of vodka. That partnership, it's huge. And that alone could put him in a financial position where he's able to live the kind of lifestyle you see out there, and you attribute that kind of success to just music. Another example is Rihanna, Fenty Beauty. Before Rihanna got to that point where she had to go into beauty products, as of the time the whole world was celebrating Rihanna's success with the first 1 or 2 albums or thereabout, her management was still struggling to keep Rihanna as a financial success. Now, with one terrible experience, she had to wake up and think that this cannot just go that way, because she had a terrible experience in the industry, in the business, where she found out that she had even less than 50,000 to her name, and the whole world was celebrating her, and she's gone on tour, she's done so much. What many of you don't even know, that some of the so-called successful musicians, while you're seeing their videos here and there, here and there, here and there, it is the money they are making that their management is plowing back into their career to keep them going. They make like 100,000 today. It is plowed back probably into shooting videos. They make another 200,000. It is plowed back into preparing for the next album. Because you think that your record label will do everything for you, but you also have a role to play. So with that terrible experience came this awakening that it has to be, another option. There's got to be another option of how, to be successful in the business. So she went into beauty products. And the beauty product, I dare to say, is part of the reason she became one of the richest female musicians in the world as of now. So we need to look at, if we say we want to be like this artist, we want to be like that artist. Have you done your research to ask yourself, how did this artist actually become successful? And what is the definition of success? For some other artists, the definition of success is just to have the kind of songs they create, to have opportunities for publishing, talking about synchronization, talking about, the music being used in movies, having the music go to music supervisors who are the ones that shop for songs, for soundtracks, for movies, for placements in adverts and all that. Some people just want that. And that's where there's so many musicians or songwriters or artists or call whatever you like, who the world does not know, but who are still practicing this music thing we're talking about, and they are very rich, but people don't know them, and they are very, very rich, and what they're doing is music. But remember, once again, when you make money in the business, it would be wise to also think of spreading, your risks or your interest into something else. Look at something that you think the people who follow you might be interested in consuming from you, and then go into it, produce something, solve another problem, with the money that you have, and then you see how you will prosper when you solve a problem with the income that you make. I'm going to take a brief break now, and play a song by my friend, my brother, who is in Canada. This is my all-time favorite song, and it's called Atapata Dide, the music of Ashiru, Adeleke. And I'll be back with you.
Atapata Dide sumo Atẹrọ̀fọ̀ dìde súnmọ́ bí. Orúkọ yóò ó máa jẹ́ o, ó máa jẹ́ o. Orúkọ yóò kò sọ ẹ́. Ibi kan ṣáá láti jáde wá o. Dandan ibì kan ṣá la máa tẹ̀dọ̀ sí. Ṣùgbọ́n owó ọ̀wẹ́ ò tó, má fi gàngàn fáwọn lẹ́mí mímọ́ wí. Ó ní ilẹ̀ tá ti kọ̀ kì í ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ lé tá ti kọ́ rárá. Makan, ṣàlóye nǹkan. Ìyẹn ni pé òye tó kára wò ó máa padà wá kan ara ẹ̀dẹ̀. Àmọ́ ìbẹ̀rù Olúwa mi ìlẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ọgbọ́n o. Mo mọ rírì ẹ̀mí mímọ́, ẹ̀mí mímọ́, ẹ̀mí Ọlọ́run, ẹ̀mí òtítọ́. Ọmọ aráyé ò lè mọ̀, orí wọn ò fojú rí, wọn ò fọwọ́ kàn ó, àmọ́ àwa mọ̀. Iṣẹ́ àti mísí rẹ̀ ń bẹ láàyè. Ó ń gbénú wa, ó ń sẹ́ni dọ̀tun. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ló sì ń tọ́ wa sí ọ̀nà àṣeyọrí. Torí náà, ìmọ̀ iṣẹ́ agbára o, ìmọ̀ iṣẹ́ pa o, ẹ̀mí mímọ́ ló lè ṣe bọ́ mi. Ìmọ̀ iṣẹ́ agbára, ìmọ̀ iṣẹ́ pa o, ẹ̀mí mímọ́ ló lè ṣe bọ́ mi. Ìmọ̀ iṣẹ́ agbára o, ìmọ̀ iṣẹ́ pa o, ẹ̀mí mímọ́ ló lè ṣe bọ́ mi. Ìṣàgbára kíkì ìṣàgbára o, kì í ṣe bá ẹ̀mí mímọ́ bá mi ṣe o dákun. Ìṣàgbára ìmọ̀ ìṣàgbára o. Ìmọ̀ iṣẹ́ pa ọ́, ẹ̀mí mímọ́ ó lè ṣe ó wọ́n mí. Ìmọ̀ iṣẹ́ agbára, ìmọ̀ iṣẹ́ pa ọ́, ẹ̀mí mímọ́ lè ṣe é. Ìmọ̀ iṣẹ́ agbára o, ìmọ̀ iṣẹ́ pa ẹ̀mí mímọ́ ló lè ṣe ó wọ́n mí. Mo bẹ̀ ọjọ́. Ìmọ̀ iṣẹ́ agbára. Ìmọ̀ iṣẹ́ pa ẹ̀mí mímọ́ ló lè ṣe bá mi. Bá mi ṣe, tó mi ṣe, mo ní owó. Bá mi ṣe, tó mi ṣe, owó mi owó. Mo ní ṣe owó. Má ṣàmì, ká má ṣàmì, lójoojúmọ́, lọ́sàn-án lóru, nígbàkúgbà níbi gbogbo, nínú ilé wa, àwa dẹ̀ máa ṣoríire o.
The music of Ashiru Adeleke gracing this conversation today on ReSoFrik FM. All these things where we talk about all things and everything as long as they have positive impact on our individual and collective lives. Today we're talking about what they never tell you about the music business and the industry. One of the things I'd like to say again is the fact that you need a team more than ever to be successful. There are lots of roles that are crucial to the success of the business of an artist. For instance, you need a lawyer. Now remember this, when I say you need a lawyer, you don't need a real estate lawyer to interpret music business contracts for you. The fact that someone is a lawyer does not mean that the person can interpret music business contracts for you. So you either need a lawyer or you need a music business consultant, someone who knows or who has studied the business, either academically or experientially. Now, these are the people that are going to point you in the right direction. You need a lawyer. Because there are times where you inadvertently infringe on people's copyright. You probably don't know it, Take yourself even to the experience of the Blurred Lines controversy, between the estate of Marvin Gaye and Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams. They were talking about using a part of the song, and these people were like, it was just a feel, of the song that we used. It resulted in a lawsuit, and some people had to part with money, to pay to the estate of Marvin Gaye. Now that is at that level where copyright infringement was not intended. So you need a lawyer to guide you into how to interpret contracts, how to identify a good contract and a bad one, how to identify contracts that, you know, and that need to be renegotiated, because except they tell you that you know it's a blanket agreement, it's cast in stone, and there's nothing you can do. Well, which is like what you have on most of these digital platforms that distribute music. It's either you sign or you don't sign, and you don't put your music there, so it's not something you can negotiate. But let's say you're trying to record with a record label, you're getting signed on with a record label. You're going to need a lawyer who's going to help you to look at the clauses, to help you identify things like the duration of the contract, and then to help you identify clauses like perpetuity clauses, which is very, very dangerous, I'd say, because when you sign a contract and everything in the contract is in perpetuity, it means that some of these contracts actually will exist. The terms of the contract will exist even after the death of the person who signs with a record label. You want to check how much your royalty is, the definition of different types of royalty that's coming, and what is the record company going to do for you. Are they handling your publishing? Are they handling your distribution? Are they handling your marketing? Because distribution is not necessarily marketing. Distribution is a subset of marketing. Are they handling your promotion 100%? Are you handling your promotion? Are they going to do what is called cross collateralization, excuse me, which means that if you're making money from your tour through the record label, are they going to use the money you make from that to offset the loan you have with the record label? Because there are times when even artists they sign contracts, the company they give them cars, they give them houses, they give them a lot of things, and many of them do not read their contracts enough to know that most of those things that the record labels give to them are loans against their expected royalty. Which is why, with a huge amount of success, as we put it, from the artist could still translate into poverty on the part of the artist, because the more you make money, the more the record company says you're owing us. So you want to look at some of these contracts, and who's going to help you to do that is a lawyer. Do you want to find an entertainment lawyer, or an intellectual property lawyer, or a music business expert, a music business consultant? We have people out there, who are versed in the intricacies of the business in different areas. So I'm going to veer off again and go to the need for accountants. You need people to help you to look at the numbers. You need people to help you to plan your finances. Thinking that every money you make is to be spent is a huge mistake. You cannot make X amount of money and think you can spend it, because that is why it is called music business. It is not just a hobby. As soon as you get out there, and you start signing contracts here and there, it becomes business. So you want to make sure that you're able to fulfill your obligations. You want to be able to, pay for your studio fees if you're handling your own recording by yourself and you're just giving the masters to third parties to market or distribute for you. You want to be able to have someone to help you to do the accounting. And where money is coming in, you want your accountant to be able to help you take care of the taxes as they relate to the government, and all of that, statutory obligations, the legal obligations you have from your income to, the authorities that have a relationship with your income. And then importantly, you need a manager. You need a manager to be able to help you to look at your vision and create a roadmap towards achieving that vision. What is your idea of success? What is your personal definition of success? Is it to have a publishing deal? Is it to just have your music synchronized with materials like movies, like adverts and other visuals? Is your definition of success to just have like 10 million streams on Spotify? You need to be able to define what you want to achieve with your management. And then your management will look at the entirety of your vision and help you to flesh all these things into a roadmap and create actionable steps and strategies within the timeline to help you to achieve them. Side by side, that comes the management of your finances, because your finances, as the person who draws in the money or the revenue would help your management to be able to do things, because you cannot just want to achieve all these things without money. Even if you're a gospel artist, everyone in the business needs money to be able to achieve the things they want to achieve. Now, when we're talking about management, we also want to examine things like, are we talking about personal manager or your business manager? Your personal manager, oversees to your could oversee even as much as your emotions. Like, you're down, you're not happy, you wants to be there for you, wants to make sure you're in the right frame of mind to be able to do the things that's going to help you to create income, which is going to be managed by your business manager. Now, that is on the surface. We will delve into all that in a series that I'm starting very soon, which is going to be about the music and the business. You also want to, consider bringing all these people together. Now, some of you would ask, well, it's a lot. How do I pay these people? How do I pay these professionals? It's as simple as having people in your circle who are passionate about what you do. Sometimes having someone who's passionate about what you do could favor you more when you have such people as your managers than when you go to sign up with huge management companies. Now, each of them has its own advantages and disadvantages. The huge companies, they know the roadmap, they know the network, they know what to do. But what if they have bigger artists that they are handling that is not going to give them enough time to give the attention to you to develop your career for you? And that's the downside to that. But if you're fortunate and they pick on you and they push you, then you're going to be successful. You're likely to be successful with big management companies. But when you have people in your corner who are passionate about what you do, these people, come rain, come shine, they dream every day about pushing your career. So every day they wake up, they're devising strategies, micro and macro strategies to make sure that your music is out there. And not just that it's out there, that it fetches you money. And they also want to see you successful in such a way that they decide, when money comes in, how much are you allowed to spend? In other words, they're paying you your own stipends, your own income, for your personal spending, and they're keeping X amount of it for the furtherance of your career. Now, remember, when I'm talking about managers, and this goes to the countries in Africa, for instance, where we do not quickly separate business from relationships. When you want someone to be your manager, they have to sometimes dictate to you what to do, because they see the vision for you and they have to keep you within the lines of the vision so that you can get to your desired destination. Do not hire managers and treat them like messengers. And that's one of the things that's prevalent in Africa, which, I believe from what I'm seeing is changing gradually because people are stepping on the global stage. When you hire people to be your managers, allow them to be managers and not messengers. If you know you want a messenger, go within your income and hire someone to be your personal assistant. In other words, you have to have a structure. Having this structure does not necessarily mean that you're spending huge amount of money. It is about looking into your network and see those who are really passionate about you and passionate about the aspects of your business that you need people for. Speak with these people, recruit them, sign something. It could be as little as a one-page document. Sign with them. And that's very important. Sign something if you can. Don't say because we're friends. Otherwise, you're all going to end up in litigation against each other. So these are some of the things you want to consider when you are putting things together for your music business and your career. I'm going to take another music break and play the music of Tosinger, an Afro soul jazz artist based in Atlanta. The song is called Ile featuring Naira. And here is the song, and I'll be back with you.
times a day. The mind must escape the desert of illusion. 1,000 times a day, flowing from our hearts is the river of inspiration. At the end of your labor, home is where the heart is. Home is where the heart is. Don't you know? At the end of your labor, home is where the heart is. Home is where the heart is. Don't you know? Il est la bossimi, il est la bossimi, oh. Il est la bossimi, il est la bossimi, oh. Il est la bossimi, il est la bossimi, oh. Il est la bossimi, il est la bossimi, oh. Listen to this song, ringing loud and clear. It's calling the prodigal sons. Although you have climbed Kilimanjaro and crossed the boundaries of the ocean.
The music of Tosinger, all the way from Atlanta, gracing this episode of All These Things, where we're talking about some of the things they never tell you about the music business or about the music industry. If this makes sense to you, if you're learning something from this episode, do share with your friends that are artists and let us know if you'd like to watch more episodes like this on All These Things. And of course, we're starting a series pretty soon about music, the business, and the industry. We'll be discussing stuff like contracts and most of the things I'm talking about today. So watch out for that on ReSoFrik FM. Before I say goodbye today, one of the things I'd like to also remind you that many times, especially in recent times, contracts are traps if you're not careful. And of course, like they say, in the court of law, ignorance is not an excuse. So if you're venturing into the music business, into the music terrain, you owe it to yourself to make sure that you learn different aspects of the business and how the business works. You want to consider that very deeply. You want to pay attention to your contracts because that is the foundation of your journey in the business. I'd also like to say real quick, because I have to say goodbye in a little while. You need to look at some of the common clauses that could ruin your career, perpetuity. When they say this contract is in perpetuity, it means it's for the whole of your life, and in most times, even when you're dead. So if you're owing a company and you're not careful, some of the debt you leave behind to your record company could even be paid, could be enforced on the people you leave behind you. I mean, that's talking about your estate. So you want to look at your contract. Remember, things are shifting, rapidly in the industry, and you do not have to be signed to a record label to be successful. With the advent of the social media and technology generally, you're able to produce your music, you're able to, take care of your own finances, you're able to do your social media thing. And these are pretty much most of the things that the big companies will do for you. Now, I have also seen, people who are signed to big record labels, and 2, 3, 4, 5 years they are signed and the music is not out. These people are frustrated, but there's nothing they can do because they've signed a contract with these companies. Now, with this experience, these people get frustrated. You're not able to go to court because you're not able to fight a case when you're broke against a company that is big, that has the money to fight against you. So if you sign a contract and you sign this contract in perpetuity, and this company refuses to release your music in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you're going to have to find a very smart way to get yourself out of the contract. Possibly look for some clauses in the contract where the company is not fulfilling its own obligation. You can use some of the contracts to find your way out of some of the clauses to find your way out of the contract. I have witnessed this way back in Nigeria where artists will sign, and for a long time the music is, going out of vogue. The one that is recorded, it's not been released. The artist is frustrated, nothing is happening, and then they have to get out of the contract. Or maybe someone interested in the materials they have come to them, but they're not able to sign a new contract because they have a contract with a company which refuses to release their music. So a smart lawyer will look at the entire contract and will find some clauses that you could use to find help you find your way out of the contract that has trapped you. And many times when you sign this contract, you realize that you're using the income from one aspect of the contract to pay for another aspect of the contract. You know, they spend the money for music videos and everything. It's not free. Maybe at the end of a video, you're owing $250,000, or or Naira, whatever you call it, CDs, whatever you want to call it, and then you're making money from music publishing. Maybe your song is synchronized to a movie and it fetches you like 50 grand, and you're not still not making money, and you're seeing the money coming in, and they're telling you we are using this money from your publishing to take care of what you're owing us on the video that we produce for you, which is at $250,000. Now, if you had a good accountant, or if you had a good business manager or a good lawyer in the beginning, you will have identified these problems, and you'll be like, what is the cap on the budget for videos? It's not like you're shooting $1 million video for me and I end up owing you for 10 years and I'm not making money, and I end up getting more into debt. And some of those things I'm talking about happen where you sign what is called 360-degree contracts. When you sign 360-degree contracts, it means that pretty much, to break it down to you, to make it simple, you are signing the entirety of your career in one contract. Now, remember, you can sign publishing companies separately with a publisher. You can sign a marketing deal with another company. You can sign management with another one. With all these breakdowns, you have control over different aspects of your career. But when you put everything down out of desperation, you put everything in one bowl and you sign a 360-degree contract, then you could be on your way to becoming a slave for the rest of your life and becoming miserable. And that's where, most artists, when they get to that point where they find out that they're not able to get out of the contract and the whole world knows them already, and they're not making money, desperation comes in. That is where they resort to doing shady things and making desperate moves to make money from other places which are probably shady, to be able to keep up with the image they have projected to the rest of the world. You want to be careful about this. Now, it may sound like this is too much grammar, but ultimately, if you think education is not good for you, or it's boring, or it's a lot of work, try ignorance and see where it leads you. I would also like to, hammer on some things like, the need to have people who are able to use the tools on the internet to be able to let you know how your career is going. You want to look at the statistics of people who are following you on social media platforms. Where are they from? What part of the world are they from? I have been to a conference about 4 or 5 years ago where an independent artist that most people like you out there probably would never know because they are like ordinary people, but they were really, really making money. And this lady came up to say that she released her music in the United States and she was struggling and nothing was happening. Then one day somebody called her and was like, I'm looking at the back end of your analytics. So and the metrics are showing me that people are listening to your music more in Brazil than the United States. Now, this artist decided to pay more attention to the analytics and see that indeed she's making efforts in the United States to attain the success that she desired. But her audience seems to be in Brazil. She decided to take a trip to Brazil. And when she got there, she saw how people are so excited about her music in certain parts of the country. Now she went straight to that part of the country and decided to do some collaborations on the songs she's done in English to do in their language in Brazil. With that kind of collaboration where she recorded with a local artists to do her song in their own language, it became huge. She became someone from America who was seriously sought after by people in Brazil. She decided to go on tour, and she found people that she was able to play with and all that. Before she knew what was happening, she had acquired a lot of success far away in Brazil, such that for the most part, she was more in Brazil than she was in the United States. For those who are in Nigeria who have listened to the music of Nell Oliver and Awilo, way back in the 90s, in the late 90s, Awilo did a song, come on to Tapel, you know, and that album, I think it was a huge success along the West Coast, but it was more successful in Nigeria than even the DRC where this guy was from. I remember the first show this guy did at the National Stadium, I believe. It was huge. Everywhere was packed. And I think it was sponsored by, Nigerian breweries or so. It was very big. The guy was very emotional. Like, even in my country, I did not achieve this amount, not just of professional success, but even financial success. Awilo ended up becoming someone who did a lot of duets with a lot of Nigerian artists, and Nigeria made a success, not just in terms of the embrace of his music, but also financially. The same happened with Nell Oliver, who is from Benin Republic. He did a song called Baby Girl. He did the song, but the song was bigger in Nigeria. He probably made more money in Nigeria than he made in the other parts of Africa. So you need to be able to understand the tools on the internet space that will point you where things are working as against where things are not working. Because many times we think things are not working, but if we dare to look deeply, they are working, but they're just working in areas we're not paying attention to. So we also want to pay attention to that. But remember as well that if you choose not to go the route of being signed to big record labels and you go the indie route, I'd like you to prepare, because it's a long road. It's a difficult road. But if you're consistent, if you do the work, and if you tell yourself the truth, like, not on the social media, not living a fake life, in terms of knowing that organically you have 5,000 people following you, 5,000 people that you know are real and you can develop a real relationship with. And then you go and you buy fake followers for 500,000. You're talking about faking it till you make it. That is the first point of confusion. Because if you have 5,000 people that are real, that are passionate about your music, that is a good place to start to monetize your music, as against when you spend money and you buy bots that, like over almost 500,000, and you show the rest of the world that, you have 500,000 people following you. I mean, how about you have a 500,000 following and you put up a post and you hardly have 100 people commenting or interacting with your post? It says a lot. Now, that is a way to deceive yourself into failure. And that is not on anybody, it's on you. So you want to pay attention to most of these things that I've talking about. And you remember that you just have to be consistent. You have to keep recording. You have to keep recording. You do not have to drop a song. You do not have to, go back and following a song or promoting a song just because it's not achieving what you want right away. Take this from me. There's nothing bad in you promoting a song for a whole year, building different types of visual content around it. It takes just one person to find your song and decide to do big things with it. So the fact that the song is not doing as you expect in 1, 2, 3 weeks, 1, 2, 4 months, does not mean the song is not going to be successful. There is a time and season for everything. So with these and most of the things that I've talked about, you also want to consider friendship versus business. The fact that you have your friends liking your video does not mean that is success. Your friends and family may not necessarily be your audience, may not necessarily be your pathway to success and fulfillment. And remember, politics exists in the business. That is why you see some people who are not half as talented as you are having record deals, becoming big, and you'll be like, what are these people offering? These people know how to play the politics of the business. We'll take it or leave it. There's politics in the business. And you want to learn the politics environment and see how you can adapt to the politics. There's nothing you can do about it. It is there. It's always been there. And that is because There are gatekeepers of every industry. You want to play, you want to play the politics of the game. You would have to find ways that are healthy to you, that are not harmful to you, of having building great relationships with the gatekeepers of the industry in a way that does not harm you or violate your personal values. But ultimately, I'll leave you with this: no matter what you do to yourself, be true as far as the music business is concerned. We're going to have more episodes, built especially around music, the artists, and the business, very soon on ReSoFrik FM. You stay tuned. And if this makes sense to you, share with someone and still drop your comment so that we can keep the conversation going. My name is Oluwatoyin Jeremy, the one you know as Papa T, the chief representative of the rare breed family of ReSoFrik FM. It's time to say goodbye, and I'm going to leave you with this song by uh, Nkan, all the way from San Francisco. It's a beautiful Afrocentric soul song which celebrates the man. And with this song, I say goodbye. Peace, love, and blessings. I'll be with you same time next week. Bye for now.
Some say, babe, your man is lucky, but I know I'm the one who's really lucky. The way you treat me, the way you hold me, you are the one that makes it all happen, brother. All you do, oh brother, makes you happy. And all you do, oh brother, makes you so sexy. Broda, things I do me. 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 You are the kingy of my world. You are the beauty in my world. Yeah, you are the one who makes me feel like a queen. You are the one who makes me feel I can win always. Cause all you do, oh brother, makes you appealing. Yeah. And all you do, oh baby, makes you so sexy. Broda, things I do me. 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 The way you touch me, the way you teach me, the way you hold me, the way you love me. Broda, things I do me. Broda, things I do me. Broda, things I do me. Broda, things